If you've tried everything to feel more like yourself, therapy, journaling, mindset work, new goals, watching hundreds videos on this topic, and nothing has really stuck, I want to give you one concept that explains why. Because once you see it, everything makes sense. The concept is attention. What really matters is where you point your attention in your day-to-day life. If we look at our attention, it can point in two directions and only two. It can point out in the world or it can point in at ourselves. When our attention points out, it lives in our head. This is where all the thoughts, ideas, judgments, worries, beliefs live. And if it points in, it lives in our body. This is where all the physical sensations, emotions, gut feelings, intuition, feelings, they all live in our bodies, not in our heads. And in a healthy life, our attention moves naturally in between the two states, out to work, to communicate with the world, to reach our goals, and then in to check in with ourselves that what we are doing is actually aligned with who we are. So all day long it goes out, in, out, in, out, in, but it doesn't get stuck in any of the states. And it's quite balanced. But what happened to most of us, including myself, is that attention gets stuck pointing outwards. We keep thinking about deadlines, what someone said, what we need to do, how we are being perceived, what's next, what's missing, what happened in the past. And when our attention has been pointing outwards for a very long time, we start living in our head. We're always thinking and our mind never switches off. And the scariest part that we don't even realize it. And then there is a point where you start feeling that you disconnected from yourself. And here where it gets really tricky. When we finally feel disconnected enough to start doing something about it, what do we reach for? We start journaling, thinking on paper. We start therapy, thinking out loud. We set goals, more thinking. We watch hundreds of videos on this topic, including this one. Read self-help books. It's all thinking. Every single tool we reach for lives in our heads. And our attention never leaves our head when we're using these tools. We are using thinking to resolve the problems that thinking created, and we end up in this never-ending loop where we start understanding ourselves better intellectually, but it doesn't change the way we feel. And I'm not saying that it's bad to use these tools. I'm just trying to say that they will not help us to feel the way we want to feel. What we really need to is to bring the attention back into our bodies, to move this beam and make two states equal to each other. So we are in this balanced state when we go out to the world, but then we always come back in and to check how do we feel. This is what we need to focus on the first place, is bringing attention back into our bodies. The question is, how can we make it happen? So there are 4 things that can help us bring attention back into our bodies, and I will explain you how they work. The first one is movement. The moment you move your body, your brain has to pay attention to it. Where is my leg? Where is my arm? Where is my weight shifting? So you cannot move with awareness and be in your head at the same time. And what actually helps the most is to do the movements that are not familiar for you, not too familiar for you, because then your brain needs to bring all the attention, all the control in the body to be able to perform this movement. The second one is breath. Breath is special because it happens automatically, but we can also control it consciously. So when we slow down our breath intentionally, we communicate to our nervous system that it's time to relax, and we can slow down and take off our guards. And then our body softens, especially if we control the length of our exhale and we try to make it longer. The third one is intentional sensing, is when you point your attention to the parts of your body. Like, for example, you feel your feet, you feel your shoulder, you feel your nose, you feel your eyelids. You start noticing parts of your body that maybe you never paid attention to. And it sounds simple, but it actually plays a big role because you train your attention to feel yourself from the inward, to feel your body from the inward. And the more you do it, the more your inner world will come back online. The fourth one is stillness with sensation. This is when you pause and simply notice what is already here. The sounds around you, the temperature of the air, the weight of your body. And you're not trying to fix it, to make sense out of it, to judge it. Oh, it's too hot, or oh, it's too cold. You're just noticing without judging and thinking about it. And when there is nothing else competing with your body for attention, then you start hearing it better and you start understanding how you actually feel. So these four things, movement, breathing, intentional sensing, and stillness, all work because they do the same thing. They give your attention something to land on, and this is our bodies. So they help us bring our attention back inwards into our bodies. I get stuck in my head a lot because I work as a strategy consultant and it's quite intellectual job. So I spend all day thinking, analyzing, strategizing. Then when the work is over, my head still continues spinning and I cannot switch it off. The only thing that helps me to come back to myself and feel like myself again after a long working day is bringing back attention to my body. And I tried different things like going to the gym, but sometimes I'm not so present in the moment because I start doing things automatically, then walking. Also, I spend a lot of time in my head. And the only practice that actually helps me to come back to myself after a long working day when I feel lost, disconnected, is yoga. Because yoga is a practice where all of these four components are in one. So you move with intention, you control your breathing, you pay attention to the parts of your body, and then you spend some time in stillness where you internalize the experience that just happened to you. The first time I tried yoga when I was 19, and it was a point in my life where I felt lost, tired. I didn't know where I'm headed, what I'm doing. And my friend just suggested me to join her for a yoga class. And I remember how I felt after. I felt so calm and still in my own head. And this feeling just dragged me into yoga. I started waking up at 5:30, commuting for 1 hour just to do this practice, and it changed the way I felt. So it stuck with me for now 9 years. I eventually became a yoga teacher, and now I do the classes for people like myself who cannot switch off their brain, who are always in this emotions, who are always moving somewhere, reaching their goals, but they kind of feel that something is wrong, that I don't feel who I am, where I'm headed, I don't know what I want. What you need to try is to slow down and bring this attention back into your body. I even designed a very short class, slow yoga, where you don't need any experience, any equipment, just a quiet room and space for yourself, where you can experience this feeling of coming back into your body, of bringing this attention back into your body. It's linked under this video. Try it today, don't save it for later, because if you've been stuck in this feeling of being lost, disconnected with yourself, and nothing really helped. Potentially, you've been using the wrong tools, and what's your system really needs is to bring this attention back at yourself through your body. I hope this was helpful and it resonates with you, and you will try the flow and you will feel the difference. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I hope you will find your way home.